Hi all, and it's Nick Morell here from Nick Morell Abstracts, and welcome back. It's been a long time since I've done a tutorial. I did do a large 48 by 24 earlier, a carnival of colours. I'm just using up an old canvas and the leftover paints that I've got. So I've just done the Mars Black background as normal, with a 50-50 mix with the Liquidec pour medium. So 1:1 with a tiny bit of water. And I'm just going to try, so it's an old canvas I'm using up. So we're just going to use it up. I had some loads of paints. It was such a big canvas, it's hard to get the mix right. So I've had plenty of base coat left and some of the swiping colours. I'll be swiping with the kitchen roll today. I'm just going to go with a diagonal swipe this time. Just try and mix it up. As you've seen before, all I use is a wooden mixing stirrer, and I normally, if I'm going 3/4 way, I'll just hollow a bit out. Just gives me a guideline to pour my colours. So this time I'm going to go for a diagonal. Just something a bit different, so I'll just scrape that out. So as roughly as you can. So there's my diagonal line, and I'm going to put the paints into that. Now I've gone for the PBO Gold 350. I'm going to put some of that in the centre. It's a nice gold, this one. And we're going to swipe the way. I've got some blues. This is the Ultramarine, the blue. Really like this blue. Some of that in there. Now the Deco Arts Sapphire. I like to just put these two together. Make a nice contrast when they're swiping through. So about half and half. The Deco Arts Sapphire. Extreme sheen, that one. Now I've got the Cardamom Red. This is the Peebo again. The Cardamom Red. It's a real nice, rich, almost blood red, this one. Again, I'm just using paints up here. Have some more gold. Followed by a bit more blue. Some sapphire. And then repeat the process again. Blue, sapphire. So you can mix these paints up however you like. You haven't got them doing even, you can randomly mix them. So with the gold, blue, that, so a bit of red. And we're going to add a bit of silver to swipe across to get some highlights. Bit more gold. And just a little bit of the blues. So once again, a big shout out to Catherine Osmore, fantastic artist at Cos Creations. It's been really tough for me in this lockdown with the family. Obviously we own a salon, hairdressing salon. We're now been closed for 10 weeks. Didn't really get a lot of help off our government, just the way it is with a limited company. So we didn't get furloughed, got a little small grant, continued to pay the rent. The landlord, really greedy, wanted the rent to be paid still, so had to pay him. And so Catherine, she knows what she done. She helped me out massively, and it just enabled me to do a couple of more abstracts. So big shout out to Catherine, really beautiful, generous lady. Right, so that's your colours in. Now I'm just going to run some silver along the edge. So just run it off first, along the top. So all the silver does, when you pull it through, it just adds some shimmery highlights. And I've cut some smaller, obviously it's not a very big canvas, so I've gone quite small with the tissues. And again, all we do is just wet the bottom edge up and we pull through. So wet the bottom edge. I'm going to start in the middle here. And just try and diagonal that across. Nice and slow. So just let the tissue grab, and you can see the silver coming through. Nice effect. And discard that one. And again, just lay it in, let the paint suck up. As you can see, just create some nice effects. Now you've got a smaller one here. Just drag that through. So I can see that's quite a good effect there. You can see that. And then we'll just repeat this side. I say that the silvers there, you probably can't see it in the camera, but the silvers just comes through and add some highlights into the swipe. And when it's glossed up, they really do bounce. And again, just let it suck up. The two sapphires and the blue and the aquamarine. So give that a try. With the silvers, a really good contrast with the aquamarine. So just use one tissue for one swipe. I do see some people use it, but for the sake of a piece of tissue, I use a new bit every time. I just lay that across. And just them little edges there. You can see there, that bit there just needs pulling through again. So what we do is there, I literally get a bit of tissue and just cut a fine one, the length you want, or the width you want. So I've just gone with like that, and I'm just got a real thin one. And again, just wet the bottom edge Just go somewhere in the middle there. And let it suck up again. Pull through. And just try and pick that empty area up. And there you go. See, simple as that. Again, a little bit of blue there. And again, just lay it on. Drag that through. Might add a little bit of blue into that. Hasn't really swiped that across. Should have a tiny bit of blue in here. And again, don't be scared to add more paints. You can see all the highlights coming through and the cell action. There's no silicone oil in any of this. So it's tricky with the diagonal because you're running out of canvas to swipe, really. That's better. So that's your first diagonal swipe in. You can see that in the camera. Now all I do now, I like to swipe away from myself. So I will turn that round carefully. Try and be as careful as you can. And say, there. So you may want to add some more swiping material. Just a tiny bit there. Just so you can drag more across. You've got enough paints here. So I might as well use it all up. Just follow the pattern. I'm running out of sapphire here. I've got a bit left I'm going to scoop up. So definitely try the sapphire with the aquamarine. Really is a nice contrast with the two blues. Bit of red. Not too much gold there, you're not swiping much across there. Hardly any left now. There. It's really tricky swiping diagonal, I find. It's fine there. And so if you've got more time, you could probably mix up more paints than I've got. I'm just using this up. Hate wasting paints, especially now in lockdown. Things are tight. Scrape a little bit out of that. Bit with the aquamarine blue into there. And again, I might have to scrape that out. I've got some more here. I find it easier in the little pots, but I'm just trying to get some more down. Carnival reds. So it's really nice red, this one. It's like a blood red. And then a bit more gold. quite a bold painting, this one. I'm going to scrape a bit of sapphire out down there. So I hope you guys are doing well with what's going on in the world. It's quite scary times. But here in the UK, things are looking a little bit better. So we're hoping to go back to work on the 4th of July. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of silver so I get my highlights through. Just add that on the top of that. You're going to be that accurate with that. You'll swipe through it and then swipe again. So try and get it from about halfway. Not that important. I'll show you. I'm going to finish it off with a palette knife, a line through, which I tend to do with all my swipes. So I'm going to go in the middle, try and judge it so it's halfway again. Swipe through. Silvers are coming through. So definitely try and add them silver. Just that tiny bit of silver makes a massive difference. And it will shimmer in the lights. So try and go it halfway, roughly. Just let that suck up the paint. Nice and gradual. So creating a nice effect there. It's going to be deeper colours in the centre is what we're looking for. Quite a bold colours, this one, but what's going on? We're just trying to make some cheery colours here. And say just nice and smooth. And say don't worry about it. If there's mist, there's a couple of black bits in that one. Carry on swiping. And then ones you can just pick up again with a shorter piece, as we've done before. Again, I'm just going to lay that in there and just try and bring some of that sapphire with the silvers through there. So you can see the silvers are in there. Really nice. Now I'm going to just try and cut. Just going to cut a smaller one just to try and do that. So these are the tricky bits here. So just take your time. It's really tricky on the edges. The edges are the trickiest bits. And there's not much swiping going on. You can't really swipe a large area, but just keep working it. bring some of them silvers into that. It's a nice finish there. May just try and run that through there. The gold and the red. That's better. That's nice. And now we've just got to work this bit here. And again, I may cut some smaller bits there. So do not be scared to keep going over. If you're not happy with it, swipe again. And again, on the centre, just going to try and pick them bits up there. Nice and smooth. That's good. Let me just try and swipe through there. There's a bit of a black bit there. Just going to break that up. And that's better. So you've got some of the black and the golds is nice. You've got the silvers. You've got some natural lacing up here. I just want to just swipe that tiny bit there, the tricky bits, down to these edges. Nice and gentle. Just try and break that up. That's nice. Might just come back the other way with that. So it's a bit more feathery. Better. I'll just try and add a bit more, if I can find a bit more sapphire. And that bit there. Running out of sapphire. So I've got no more of this to mix up, so I can't mix any more up, although I would mix some of them more up for that. But it'll do. So I might just cut a smaller piece for that. Just going to try and smooth that across a bit more there. Oh, that's better. It's a lot better. And that's nicer. That's better. Yep. So that's all the colours in. The diagonal swipe. Now right, have a little tidy up. Just trying to find my palette knife now. So what I'll do is now, sometimes I will use the wooden spatula again and just drag a diagonal line just to break this up. And I'll just glide that in. Just gliding it, not to the bottom. Just creates a bit more interest. . 'Cause And so don't worry, this will all move back in. So that was just using the spatula, and that's the way you can see. You drag the golds into the red, some reds into the blues. It's going to shrink a bit down and come together a bit more as it dries. So don't panic at that stage and think. So that's a diagonal swipe with your golds, your silvers coming through here, and with a natural break line. And once I sit there, so it's going to close in this line, but it just creates a bit of interest. It gives it a break, more of a finish. So if you can see that. So I'll bring it down just to show you that. Let's say that was just done with leftover paints. Creates a nice interest with the golds, the Peebo iridescent gold, the blue, the aquamarine, Daleroni aquamarine. You've got the Deco Art sapphire, extreme sheen, great colour. Mix the two with the blues, it really does go well together, the two blues. Always keep them two together. I tend to keep them two together. The carnival reds, the Peebo high velocity red, some more of the gold and two of the blues, and we've just repeated this again, the two blues together, cardamom red, golds and the two blues. And if you can see, I'll show you that in a minute, obviously the silver swiping through, it just creates some real good highlights through the colours. And once we high gloss this up, we'll give it 4 coats of high gloss, and that's a Liquitex varnish I use. I do 4 coats of this, and believe me, it's as good as a resin finish. So 4 thin coats with these metallic Peebo paints. It gives a like glass finish on these metallics, works really well, and especially with your silvers. So that's an interesting one. That's just a 22 by 18 canvas, an old canvas I had. So I'd done the big painting earlier. Had loads of paints left over. Didn't want to waste them, especially in these times. Did not want to waste them at all. So just thought I'd just show you something different. A diagonal swipe, reflection swipe. And I'll bring the camera down just to show you. Hi guys. Right, so there we go. And there's the line. Can you see the line I was talking about? The diagonal line across. And so you've got some natural, you can see the highlights I'm talking about through there. And especially here, you can see the highlights. So there you go. That's something different to try. Say, please like and subscribe to my channel. That's Nick Moreau Abstracts. And keep safe. Until next time.